Lakers versus Grizzlies. So before I do a prediction for this series, I like to do a breakdown of both teams. Let's start with the Lakers. So these numbers are not going to be 100% accurate about how the Lakers are right now because it takes the overall average of the season. So the Lakers are ranked number 6 in the league in offense at 117.2 points per game, and they're ranked 20th in defense. Normally, I would say they're a crappy defensive team, but that stat is deceptive because since they made those trades during the All-Star break, they have been, I think, the number one ranked team in defense since the All-Star game, I believe. I've heard those stats. I can't confirm it, but I've seen some of their games. They have improved tremendously on defense, and I think I saw that stat last night on TNT. So it's definitely something you have to consider because it's about who they are now, not who they were at the start of the year. So they have improved tremendously on defense, I would say. That's something you got to factor with this team. And their two best players, it's very obvious, it's LeBron James and Anthony Davis. LeBron is averaging 28.9 points per game on 50% from the field overall. His three-point percentage, surprisingly, this year was not good. It was pretty piss poor at 32%. It may sound like something little, but it shows that LeBron is not consistently good at hitting threes. At least for this year, he hasn't. And that could be a huge factor going into the series, whether or not he can hit that three-point shot consistently, because he hasn't been able to do it. Anthony Davis is averaging 25.9 points on overall 56% from the field. The biggest issue with Anthony Davis, I would say, is can he remain healthy? This guy is as soft as Charmin tissue paper, as they would say, or paper towel, whatever that is. But he's soft as Charmin. So this guy can break down at any moment. Just a simple fall, half his body will be shattered. So you just don't know his availability in the series, if he'll hold up long enough to be able to lead the Lakers to win this series. I always question his ability to have strong endurance in these types of matchups. But he's a very important player, obviously. The Lakers can't win without him being dominant in this series. They're going to need that out of him. So another guy I think will be an X factor is D'Angelo Russell. He's just been added to the Lakers post All-Star game, and he's averaging 17.4 points per game with them, 6.1 assists, but he's averaging 2 turnovers, so that means he's a turnover machine. This guy doesn't have a good assist-to-turnover ratio, so he can make some careless turnovers in the series, and every possession I feel is vital in the playoffs. That could be his Achilles heel. He's shooting amazing overall from the field at 48%. That's pretty good for a point guard. 41 from 3. The question with him is, can he be consistent in this series, and can he not turn over the ball a lot in this series? I think those are the two things he's going to have to do for the Lakers to have a chance to win this series. The rest of these guys, I'm not going to break down much. So Lakers, I would say they have a good collection of solid front court players in Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura. Depth-wise, these guys are very solid. I think Hachimura is a very good defensive player. To me, he's like an underrated guy. They got into in a trade when they made it after the All-Star game break, I believe. Just excuse me, I have a little bit of a cough, but he's been pretty good for them. Let's see who else I like to pay attention to. Jared Vanderbilt is another important cog in the system for them. He's a very good rebounder in the short minutes he's played. I've heard Laker fans say he's the next Dennis Rodman. I don't agree with that, but his rebounding is pretty good. He's a good energy player. He's averaging 7 points, nearly 7 rebounds per game in 24 minutes of playing time. So he can be huge in this series for them. So those are like the guys you should pay attention to. Austin Reeves is another guy. I don't know why, but I think this kid will disappear in the playoffs when defenses are more focused on him. I just have a feeling he's going to choke. Guys are going to pay more close attention to him. And I don't think he's going to get the special calls he's been getting the last 10, 20 games since the Lakers have made their run to get into playoffs. I think the refs were giving him favorable treatment. I'm not going to go into conspiracy theory, but I just don't see this kid getting those calls like he was during this recent run the Lakers had. So that's the Lakers breakdown for you. Let's go to the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are, are ranked ninth in offense at 116.9 points per game, and they're ranked 11th in defense. So they're above average team offensively. I would say defensively they're also above average, but they're not. I wouldn't say that they're great defensively, just above average. Since they're a top 10 offense, I'll put them even above average for offense. So they're really good offensively and pretty good defensively, but not great defensively. That's the way I would sum them up. Their key guys are obviously Ja Morant, who's had a pretty good season. He's averaging 26.6 points per game. He's averaging 8 assists, but he's averaging 3.4 turnovers, so assist to turnover ratio could be troubling, kind of similar to D'Angelo Russell in that situation. I would like to see him minimize the turnovers in this series against the Lakers. He's shooting 46% overall from the field, which is above average for a perimeter player, but he's shooting terribly from three. So his Achilles heel is his three-point shot. Teams are definitely going to dare him to hit the three in the playoffs. That could be his undoing against the Lakers. I'm sure they're going to give him plenty of open threes to hit. So he's going to have to hit them. His form is not as bad as Russell Westbrook's, for example. So I don't know if it's a mental thing for him when it comes to three-point shooting, but he's going to have to be better than 30%, I feel. So hopefully he can improve on that when he plays the Lakers. The other guy's Desmond Bane. He's their second lead scorer. Desmond Bane, to me, has always been this weird player. He's really a complimentary player. I've never viewed him as a star or someone who will ever be an all-star, but it shows you the impact Ja has on the game, or maybe I would say the Grizzlies system, since he played great without Ja. But in the Grizzlies system, he's a very good player. He's averaging 21.5 points per game, 47% overall from the field, 40 from three. So he's a very good three-point shooter. He's important. He needs to have a good series, I feel, for them to be able to win this series. It has to be somewhat decent. Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm going to say he's the second best player on the Grizzlies, while Desmond Bane is number 2 in scoring. Jaren Jackson Jr. is their second best player. He's averaging 18.6 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game. He's definitely gonna have to up up the rebounds now with all the injuries to their bigs and Steven Adams and Brandon Clark. So he's gonna have to become more of a rebounder in the series. I feel it's important he hits the glass. They really need him to step up. I think the Lakers' biggest advantage is going to be in rebounds. They're definitely going to crash the glass. They have a lot of good rebounders on the Lakers. So it's very important he steps it up now. He has to do that. I think rebounding is very, very, very important in this series. So those guys. And last but not least, Dylan Brooks, as I call him, Dylan the villain. This guy, he shoots a horrible percentage overall from the field, 39%, and 32% from three. He averages 14 points per game, but offensively, he's really inefficient. I think he's more like this intangible player that he makes intangible plays. I feel defensively and even offensively when his shot falls, I feel like the Grizzlies go on a run. This guy's averaging 14.3 points per game. The key for him in this series is just try not to be, as Charles would say, so much of a knucklehead in this series. He can really do stupid things that can take his team out of it. This is going to be an interesting matchup with him and LeBron, because I have a feeling that they're going to have him guard LeBron for most of the series. Dylan Brooks is in the mold of a Lance Stevenson type of character. I would say even dirtier than Lance. So it's going to be interesting to see the stuff he does to LeBron, how he tries to piss him off. And LeBron will get pissed off. He got pissed off at Lance. But I think it's different now because LeBron's older. I feel LeBron's stats are deceptive in the sense that people will think that he's in his prime because he's putting up good numbers, but he's no longer in his prime where he can just go supernova on you every game when he's angry. So it'll be interesting to see that battle, if how angry LeBron gets, because there'll be one game where he's really pissed off at Dylan Brooks in the series. I definitely guarantee that's going to happen. Excuse me. So with that being said, I think the key to the series really is Ja Morant. This guy In my eyes, he is the best player in the series. He's the best player, and he needs to establish himself from the get-go that he's the best player. I know people are going to say, well, are you crazy? Ja's better than LeBron? And I'm going to say yes. Yes. The current LeBron, yes. Obviously not prime LeBron or LeBron in the past. Definitely not. But today's LeBron, yes. LeBron is now a defensive black hole, I feel. Just this guy is not a good defensive player. For as many points as he gets on the offensive end, he gives that up on the defensive end. But Ja can play both ends at a high level. So I think Ja is the best player in the series. It's all going to be about him, his center of gravity, and how the Lakers decide to defend him. Like, I don't know if they have anybody on their team that can slow him down. Just I don't see any of those guys. I don't see D'Angelo Russell slowing him down. I don't see Dennis Schroeder slowing him down. I don't see a guy like Lonnie Walker slowing him down if he even gets minutes. Just I don't see any guy. Certainly not Austin Reeves. So there's no one that can slow him down in that series. And I think he's going to make the biggest impact. I know some people will argue, well, there's no one that can stop AD. You're right, but I just feel Ja's impact on the game is greater than AD. And LeBron, I just don't think. I think the problem with LeBron, I know people are going to say that no one can stop him, but like I said, he gives up so many points on the defensive end that negates his dominance on the offensive end. So I think they'll cancel out here. Also, when it comes to LeBron, this year he's been a turnover machine. I saw it last night in the Minnesota game. So this year he's been averaging 3.2 turnovers, and he's getting 6.8 assists. So that means for every assist he gets a turnover. And the Grizzlies are very good at swarming. So I expect LeBron to get a lot of turnovers in the series. And with that being said, I'm going to pick the Grizzlies in 6. Grizzlies in 6. I do think there's going to be 2 games where they screw around and the Lakers will win. This is an immature team. If they were a more mature team, I would have them winning the series in 5 games. But I'm going to go Grizzlies in 6. So that's my prediction. And that's it.